Crush family, welcome back to part 2 of our one-on-one with our DOC Fabio. So we're now going to look at the questions that have been sent in from our membership and we're going to talk through those. So we're going to start off here with our first one. So this is your first year here with the club. What are your observations and experiences so far?
I love it here so far, both on a professional and on a personal level. I know my wife and I have absolutely loved the city. The people that are in it, everybody's been so nice. I see what people say and then they come here on vacation and end up staying here. It's been great. It's certainly a place where I think I could start and raise a family. And professionally, when we talk about the club, the opportunity that I have, the platform that I have to sort of take my vision and run with it with all the trust and all the guidance that I have here as well, with the staff that we have and everything. And making sure that we're putting together a product we can all be proud of, and giving kids the best possible environment to enjoy this great game, and to be successful going forward. I think it's been great first year, yeah.
Yeah, good. I remember when you first came in, it was all so quick, and you spent the first few nights of tryouts surfing on people's couches just to get here. And, you were here and getting involved with tryouts and moving forwards with the club already.
Yeah, I don't know if I was exactly couch surfing, but I would have been if not for the great board that we have. Especially Mark Mamontoff doing everything he can to make sure that I, myself and my wife felt comfortable here. I think we almost immediately felt that family feel. We got here, we landed from the plane, everybody met us at dinner. It was great. You felt right away this was home, and that was good.
With your experiences this season and moving forwards, are there any areas that you look to tweak moving forwards? I know we're at Lakeshore right now. We've just opened our new goalkeeping field up at Magpie Meadow, where the goalkeepers have their own office, as you've called it before, for Coach Micah and the goalkeepers to work on their trade twice a week. So is there anything else along with that you're looking to tweak?
Yeah, I think ultimately what we're trying to do is want to make sure that we're specializing. We want to make sure that every program, 9s and 10s, academy, 11s and 12s, 13 and up, our high school age groups, that they all have somebody who's in charge of those programs or specialized, who say these are what my responsibilities are to this age group, and they're getting that individual attention. And I think that's important in all stages, that you're not sort of delayed on the things that you should have learned because you've already gone through it. And as you start to go forward and you look forward, you start to see what to expect, and there's a familiar face waiting for you who's ready and getting you prepared for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the specialisation with the age groups, we were going to touch on this later with one of our questions about core curriculum. But to speak to us a little bit about what you've been putting in place for the curriculum for those age groups. Yeah,
so something specific is hiring a tournament director, somebody who's going to lay out a floor plan for our teams to follow, to make sure that we're traveling as a group in unity to events that are age appropriate and that are level appropriate, to make sure that our higher level teams are going to tournaments that are going to expose our kids to the proper division that they're hoping to play in the future, the appropriate level, making sure that our membership are prepared for it, that they know, hey, you know what, next year we're going to be U13, we're going to be traveling out to Castle, we might even be going down to Disney, but they're prepared for it even at age 10, 11, 12 as they go forward, because that plan is set out. Having somebody like a technical director, we do technical sessions. This is something that we like to do for our club, is making sure that our membership are, at no extra cost, receiving more and more, as much as we can give you. And in the past, it's sort of been a, hey, if you're a full-time member, full-time staff member, sorry, you're coming out and you're being a part of these sessions. Now we're putting somebody in charge of the technical sessions, saying, this is the curriculum for the technical sessions. On day 1 in August, this is what we're working on. And we're working on this, so we can end with this in November. And there's somebody who's in charge of that, somebody who's taking ownership of it, and essentially making it better.
Mm-hmm. And I know with the core curriculum, we're looking at building everything in it from the physical standpoint, from the psychological standpoint, from the tactical standpoint, and the social, all 4 pillars of those. So I know there's some exciting things going on as we build into those 4 pillars. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
So we're looking at those 4 pillars, and we're trying to make sure that we're using to the best of our knowledge, specializing in those 4 pillars, but also too accepting the fact that we might not specialize in some. The social, for example. We are, again, partnering with the University of Tennessee sports psychology graduate students. Right now they're slowly coming in and working with some select teams, but we're making time for them in our coaches meetings to come in and work with all of our coaches. So there's a trickle-down effect in making sure that our coaches are learning how to handle a kid who may not be taking the instruction all that well, who may not be playing all that well right now, and not just brushing it off as they don't care or they're not good enough or they don't get it, but taking it a little further and understanding why, so we can be more efficient, so we can give that kid the proper opportunity to grow. Things like the physical pillar. You know, we're all great. We can make kids run 120s all day long, but is that what's really going to make them grow, get stronger, be physically prepared for games? No, there's so much more to it. It's a science that you should specialize in. So we're actually actively looking at 2 programs that are here in Knoxville, who can give us who could come in and give us the SAQ teaching that we need, getting our kids stronger, healthier. We're looking at injury prevention, like ACL tears. We're doing everything we can to prevent that. But also too, you know, at the beginning of the year, you need this sort of aspect of a fitness exercise that they can specialize in, that they can give us the guidelines and sort of set that for us, so that we're peaking at the right time of the year. Not too early, not too late. But again, it's a science that they understand better than we do, and we want to make sure that we're giving that to our teams and to our membership. From a tactical standpoint, we currently have a curriculum that is set up for development, soccer-wise, for our U9s, U10s, grouped together, our U11s, U12s, our 13s and 14s, and our 15s and on. Each stage of development has its guidelines saying, this is how we're going to prepare you for the next level. When you get there, we're going to know that you're ready, because these are the steps that your coach took to get you there. When we talk about the technical aspect, going back to the specialized hire in our technical director and what he's doing with those technical sessions, we're hitting all 4 pillars.
Yeah, so talking about the social aspect, I know you've had a big hand in our social media stuff that's been going on the past few months on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, increasing that following, and not only sharing our success on the field, but then also sharing all the great things that are happening off the field with the teams and all those relationships that are being built. Can you share some stuff about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a great opportunity in social media that we're trying to do our best to take full advantage of, in that social media connects all of our teams. You know, it allows our O2 girls who are going to go compete in a state league to feel like the rest of their club is behind them. Why? Because they know they're going to go play it. You know, a lot of our teams are going to TNI this weekend, and it's going to allow, again, to them feel like they've got the club support. Hey, you know, let's go on and see that picture that they posted of us at team dinner. You know, it makes team dinner that much more of a bonding kind of experience. You know, so ultimately the idea of not only making us feel more together, but it actually to be that fact. You know, to connect people whether they're there or not.
Yeah, and I think that's been seen recently. I've noticed being at various tournaments that we have crush teams going to watch other crush teams. They'll finish the game, come off the field, debrief, cool down, prepare for their next game, and they'll watch until halftime of another crush team and cheer them on from the side. And, you know, getting that community feel, that family feel, and like you say, sharing in the success, whether you're there or off of it, has been brilliant in the past few months.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I think social media plays a big role in that, but I think our coaching staff plays an even bigger role in that. In that we encourage our kids to do that, and then the coaches who are there, they see that, and they go back and they encourage their kids. It's really not just a family type of environment because of what we give, you know, our membership, but what each team is giving to each other. There's, you know, they're all out there, they're brothers and sisters, and we're all wearing the same shirt. And it's a great feeling.
Yeah. What with that and other aspects do you think set Crush apart from other clubs in the area?
Yeah, one thing we're really proud of ourselves, and we will never stop saying it, is, you know, we are a family feel type of club. We want to make sure that our kids, every single one of them, feel their value. But that being said, going forward, we don't want to be known as just that. We want to be a club that is giving their kids the tools to be that, and also be the best team in their area, to be the best team in their state, to be able to compete at the most elite levels. So it's certainly a club where we come and we develop the player inside the field, but we're also developing the person outside the field at the highest levels to go out and be successful in all aspects of life.
And so giving them the tools to be successful on and off the field, and thinking about the Knoxville soccer scene as a whole, what have your observations been for Knoxville with regards to soccer, and how does that compare to other clubs or other towns, cities that you've been in?
Yeah, you know, that's a great question. I've been blessed to be able to work with clubs like Castle in North Carolina and Tampa Bay United in Florida, which are both, you know, nationally recognized clubs as some of the best ones regionally and nationally. But I feel equally as lucky to be part of this club. I think I'm coming in at a time where the timing's perfect. We have a culture who's hungry, who's ready for more, ready to evolve, ready to take everything top to bottom to the next level, and I'm equally up to the task. You know, I feel like all my experiences at those clubs have gotten me prepared for this moment. I certainly have a lot of ideas of how I'm going to get there, but more importantly, I feel like I have the people around me who are going to help me get there and help us get there.
So thinking about the Knoxville soccer culture as a whole, what do you think it's going to take for us as a club to compete outside of Knoxville, outside of East Tennessee? So you're talking statewide and region-wide. I know we've got some teams that are competing on that level. What can we do to build more of our teams towards that level?
Yeah, I think slowly and slowly Tennessee is starting to recognize that we actually have, you know, some of the top teams in the state in different age groups. We've done a really good job up to this point in developing that talent and making sure that that's homegrown. You know, and when you start to qualify for things like SRPL, especially as you start to get older, you know, you're going to compete against teams from you know, Texas. You're going to compete against teams from Florida, North Carolina. You know, the best teams, and we're having conversations. We're talking about Knoxville. Hey, we got Knoxville left next on the schedule. That's sort of how we're getting our name out regionally. We talk about nationally. You know, we're a phone call away from getting into Castle, which is a tournament that is so prestigious. It's hard to get into, and the college list is through the roof. So when you talk about schools from all over the place coming to see our players, because we're reaching out to them, they know that we're coming, and we've been accepted to these programs. We're now a regular at these events. That's sort of, you know, the strides that we're making to make sure that we're getting our kids these types of exposures.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And then that kind of goes into here where we've had a question from our membership about how long coaches are going to be with teams. So some players have had experiences where they're chopping and changing each year, whereas some people have been with the same coach for numerous years. What's your kind of vision for that side of things?
Yeah, I think experience has taught me that there's no real one formula to find out who the correct coach is going to be for that particular team. You know, teams are ever changing. You know, a team who thought they might have been a team that is going to sort of maybe stay local and compete and have fun, all of a sudden wakes up one day and realizes, hey, they're a contender in the city, they're a contender in the state, they're a contender in the region. And a lot of times that might be, hey, you know, we need a different coach, even though experience up to that point has been great. When you talk about considering who the coach is going to be for a team, you know, consistency is definitely factor number one. That's the first thing you look at. Was the experience positive? Was it negative? But that's certainly just one factor in the whole equation, and making sure that, you know, you're looking back and you're saying, has this group changed? Has this coach changed? Is there a better fit? And you know, making sure that you're always evaluating. We released our coaching list on Monday. And it's a coaching list I'm very proud of. You know, we put in a lot of thought. We talked to our staff. There's constant discussion and, hey, you know what, is this group going to be right for you? Is it not? There's a lot of preparation that went into it. And essentially every coach had an opportunity to get the assignment, think about the assignment, say, is this going to fit going into next year. It's just something that I really want to fully invest into, and we're comfortable at this point that answer is yes.